Let's move on to our second topic, which is the BigCo M&A Freeze. There's a lot of antitrust allegations in the air. Google just got slapped with an antitrust judgment against their search and ads business. It is clear that this FTC, run by Lina Khan and the Biden administration, does not want to see large companies exercising their distribution advantage, acquiring companies, solidifying their positions. Now, on the last episode, we talked about this having pros and cons, right? On the upside, if they're unable to compete in certain categories, this creates more space for startups to innovate. But if they're unable to acquire startups, this creates a problem in the Silicon Valley innovation pipeline because many of these VCs are investing with a hope of their companies getting acquired at many X multiples by the big tech companies. And so what we're seeing, Emil, now is these weird acqui-hire, pseudo acquisitions, right? We saw this with a recent company by Microsoft. They acquired Inflection, and they just kind of stripped it of its people. And now Google has acquired, well, I say acquired, has stripped Characters.ai of their founders and are now sort of taking its guts without ever acquiring it. This is bad for VC, right? Because they're not getting their multiples. They're not getting the entity acquired. And so it's unsurprising, actually, that VCs have come out recently against Lina Khan and the FTC and are really upset about this. Emil, you want to tell us more about this? Which VC specifically? What do you think their motivations are? And how does this all connect together?
The reason this sort of became a hot issue in the last week or two is because Reid Hoffman was one of the biggest Democratic donors in tech.
Reid Hoffman, by the way, founder of LinkedIn, the main partner at the top VC firm in the world, the lead guy at Greylock. He is associated with Blitzscaling AI Fund, which my friend Jeremiah runs. He's a friend of the pod. He's been on the show a number of times. And so, Reid Hoffman, big deal in Silicon Valley.
And apparently, as the switch between Biden and Kamala was happening, one of the suggestions that was made by him on behalf of the tech community was that Lina Khan, whose term ends in September, not be renewed because of the way the terms work in the FTC. And he was questioned about that in the media, and he tried to say, like, well, I have my donor hat and then I have my expert hat. And my expert hat says she's bad for the business. And I think he was reflecting the concerns of a lot of VCs, right, left, center, which is that they don't quite understand the importance of acquisitions to startups. If you take that away with the theory that bigger is bad, which is with Lina Khan's theory, it's just like big is bad, period. Therefore, Mark Zuckerberg and Meta trying to acquire a $40 million metaverse company is just bad, even though it's like means nothing in terms of sort of market consolidation or dominance. It's bad, and we're going to try to block it. That was his logic, and I think a lot of VCs agree with that. I would agree with that because I think you should judge each acquisition on its merits in terms of control of the market, but you can't have a blanket rule that just says big is bad, because big is not always bad. And what if Amazon developed AWS in-house, which they did? You can't prevent that from an antitrust standpoint. And then Microsoft's like, well, we have to catch up. We want to acquire something. And you're going to say no. So then you have this literally creating one dominant player and not allowing the other big players to drive price down and service up. So they just a fundamental misunderstanding of basic Adam Smith economics at the FTC, in my view.